You cannot install these heavy-duty metal racks blocking the entryway.
A permit for a structural survey. I am literally here assessing the foundation integrity.
I woke up to metal clanging and cold air biting my toes. The hallway flickered with a flashing orange beacon from a rental truck. Fresh asphalt smell pushed through my window screen. On my porch, 6 tall metal racks blocked the door like a jail gate. At 6:12 a.m., a woman in a neon vest waved a clipboard. She was our HOA president, the one people whisper about as Karen with a calendar. She said, "This is community storage now," and pointed at my welcome mat like it was a problem. The workers drilled anchors into my concrete step. Dust floated into my coffee. I said, "You can't do that." She said, "Watch me." Then they stacked folding chairs and traffic cones on my porch, as if I had asked for an obstacle course. This fight had a name the second I saw the bolts. HOA built 6 racks on my porch without a permit, had no idea I am their surveyor. I tried to stay calm. I called the number on the HOA letterhead at 9:00 p.m. that night. Straight to voicemail. I sent 3 emails with photos. Bounce backs. The next day, I found a bright pink notice taped to my door. Improper use of porch. Fine, $150. I knocked on my neighbor's door. He cracked it 2 inches. He whispered, "Please don't involve me." At the board office, Karen kept typing while I spoke. She said the board approved it. I asked to see the permit. She slid a bowl of free mints toward me instead. The mints tasted like chalk and power. That was my line in the sand. I promised myself I'd use proper channels only. No yelling. No tricks. But smart? Yes. I started the receipts montage. I lined up photos, emails, and call logs in a binder. I printed timestamps. I wrote a bold header across one page, timeline item 1 April 5th at 4:27 a.m. false trespass call. That was when Karen called security on me for stepping onto my own porch to measure the bolt holes. 8 complaints in 10 days. I logged them all. I measured the racks. Each one pushed into my egress by 12 inches. I looked up the code. Clear exit space matters. Then I filed a public records request with the city for all permits on our building. I also kept a running note: "The law is simple here, and I plan to use every simple inch of it." Here's the part Karen didn't know. The HOA already had a survey job open from last year. Drainage. They hired a small firm. My firm. They knew my emails from invoices, not from me. On May 3, 2024, I was due to finish the boundary verification. They needed my stamped site plan to close a grant. So I set a site walk. Public. On notice. I copied the city inspector and the fire marshal because egress is their lane. I sent a clean invite to the board: site verification, common area, 10:00 a.m. Bring any permits tied to recent installations. Meanwhile, my public records request arrived. The file landed with 63 pages. It was thick with old roof permits and fence notes, but nothing about racks. On the morning of the walk, neighbors drifted out with phones. The orange light was gone. The racks remained. Karen stepped out in a blazer like it was a courtroom. "Ready for my stamp," she said. I smiled and opened my binder. The inspector measured the distance from the door to the first rack. He didn't speak for a beat. The fire marshal checked his code book. I pointed to my drawing. Egress blocked. No permit on record. And then the twist went full bright. I held up the contract copy with the HOA letterhead in my name. "Today's survey authority is me. I'm your surveyor." The inspector nodded. "That's why he's here." Karen tried to wave it off. She said these are temporary. A worker muttered they had drilled 24 anchors. The neighbor kids snickered. Someone whispered she really did that on his porch. Phones lifted higher. I read the city rule in clear words. The law is plain: anything that blocks a safe exit needs a permit. Patterns of false reports can be prosecuted. Karen looked at the racks like they had grown teeth. By noon the street was buzzing. A teen posted my step-by-step to the neighborhood page. View count jumped past 2,000 in an hour. One comment said, "This is why you don't mess with someone who measures for a living." Another said, "I got fined for a flower pot, but the HOA can build metal shelves?" The inspector wrote a red tag and taped it right over the pink notice. "Remove unpermitted structures immediately." The fire marshal added a warning letter citing egress. Police arrived after Karen tried to say I was threatening. The officer watched my video of me measuring and said that is not threatening. He pointed at the timeline page and nodded. He told Karen false reporting wastes time. On June 14, 2024, we sat in a city hearing. The city assessed fines totaling $1,800 and ordered removal in 48 hours. The board had to refund my $150 fine plus a service fee of $40. The racks came down fast. The drill holes got patched by Tuesday at 3:15 p.m. Karen stepped down as president a week later. The board sent a letter to every unit. They apologized and used the word unsafe 3 times. People relaxed. Kids played chalk soccer by the mailboxes again. I replanted my tomatoes and put my welcome mat back. Neighbors brought me cookies and a note that said thank you for using the rulebook, not a megaphone. I donated the cookies to the community pantry and kept 1 chocolate chip for myself. Now, when I walk by the office, I smell coffee instead of fear. The binder sits on my shelf, thick and dull. I hope I never need it again. But if I do, I know the path. Measure, document, file, and breathe. Please follow for more HOA showdowns like this. Do you think she got what she deserves? Comment below.